minutes to master, tools to explore. Let your imagination soar like never before. AI Tool Time with Rick McCawley, where your digital dreams come true.
One lounge. Ignition.
With Comet as our subject tonight on Tool Time. I'm Rick McCawley, the AI guy. And I wanted to show you, start off with, just here's the website. So we can see now 500 subscribers and 237 videos. And thanks to my new friend Comet, you'll see here on the side. So Comet's a browser. It's Chrome, actually. And it's made by Perplexity. So let me take a look at a couple of things that are fresh to the website. The YouTube channel, I should say. So you can always find me on right there, Rick McCawley. We're going to be showing a lot of subscriptions that I have. Matt Wolf for sure. Andrew Lane for design is pretty cool. Curious Refuge for video. Theoretically Media. David Shapiro, for example. And then I want to show you a couple of new things that I'm featuring. This is what is Notebook LM's video overview. And then I've made some really beautiful ones. And here's an example, just to give you an idea. So these video overviews, if you hadn't made them yet, also include Nana Banana for the imaging you're seeing here. So this is one where I've asked it to talk about me. And then here's a description that I used Comet to write for me. Actually, I don't think this one's done yet. So let's go ahead and see what it takes to get this done. So over here on my assistant on the side, I'm just going to come over here. And so let me just show you what it looks like. I hit the top right-hand corner, it has assistant, and I can come in here and ask it to summarize the video on screen. So it can see what's on your screen. And since there's already closed captioning in there, it's going to start looking at this. And here it is. This video presents Professor McCawley as an AI humanist using ambitious moonshot projects at the center of AI education and the future of work. Rick's background and vision. The narrator frames AI as the AI guy. His journey started the Miami Herald, capturing reality, and shifts to using the new camera, right? So this literally is in an instant, and this happens to be built in. So I can copy this information. I can then go on over to Perplexity itself if I want to. I can also take it and have it rewrite these things for me. So rewrite, and I think this the description and title for this YouTube video to be better. So I'm going to have it rewrite it. I don't know if I have to sign in here. You can see it's glowing the screen here. So it's actually looking at this. It's looking at the transcripts of the entire episode. It's then rewriting it based upon this. It's going to go over here and take into the create. So I actually had it do the entire thing. So option number 1, recommended title, Rick McCawley, building AI moonshots that put humans first. The AI humanist, option number 2, is curiosity driven. So I've already done this with a dozen of them. Based on this, here's what we recommend. That sounds great. Let's go with option number 2, confronting the digital abyss, his philosophy, find your North Star mission, become a better version of yourself every day, and dedicate your life to service. Fantastic. That's what I wanted to say. That's not what it says right now, right? This is something I wrote by hand. Please do option 1. So it's going to take control of my screen and do this. So I literally did 20 episodes, some of them from very long time ago. In fact, I've forgotten that I did a beautiful episode with Flip Schulke. So watch it. It's actually right now rewriting to make this engageable. In fact, I've already told it that I want to do certain things. I want to make myself more human. I loaded up an entire zeitgeist of what my mission is with using this website, how I'm trying to get more engagement. It's going to make this and summarize it, put emojis in there, as you'll see in just a second. So it's clicking and editing the video button, updating the video option number 1, update the description. So it's click to edit the video button to access the video settings, updating video titles right now. It rewrote it. Take a look at this. Look at, here's all the projects that I've been working on. Confronting the digital abyss. Look at the emoji in there, right? So now it's rewritten the entire thing. I could get it to make a new thumbnail for me if I want to, because it has video capabilities. I've used it to take a stream of prompts and put them into ChatGPT. So it's taking control of any of the open windows that you have. So I could say, look and close any windows I haven't used in the last 10 minutes. Or I could have it overnight, spend the entire night rewriting every single one. So it successfully did it. Here's the new title, Building AI Moonshots that put humans first, the AI humanist. Wow. A compelling opening with your rocket ship metaphor, structured sections. So it tells me why it did each one. All the projects I'm working on, these are the real projects I'm working on. These are my moonshots right there. Professional bio highlighting Broward College position, the Miami Herald background, SEO optimized hashtags. There you go. AI, artificial intelligence, human-centered. Oh my goodness. So look how long that took me. And then I could come over here and I could go back to my channel. So here's all the ones that it actually rewrote for me. And if I go down and take a look way, way deep, this was 1980 something another. Let me see if I can find it. I'm going to go back to my channel. And so now it's relinquished the control back to me. I can leave it hanging out there. And I'm going to go look for my videos. And I'm going to go way, way down deep. So here's my music videos. You can see all those here. These are all free, folks. So please enjoy. All of these are going to get a real nice update as I'm figuring things out. Here is the classes, the presentation I did for School of Visual Arts in New York. Here is the TV show I did with my community expert, what's his name? Andrew Kavanaugh. Sorry about that. We've done a bunch of episodes together. Here's back in the day when I was doing Mid-Journey for the very first time and the kind of stuff I was doing back then. Here's travel photographs that you can watch all over the world and all kinds of stuff. Here's when I was teaching Lightroom classes. Here am I diving in Iceland, right? So you got to check this out because this is literally Iceland. The temperature is 34 degrees. This is the tectonic plates for the North American and the European continents on the left and the right there. And we're wearing dry suits, and that's me shooting it. You'll see me flip around. That's me holding a GoPro with a dry suit. First time I've been diving in a dry suit. And there I am going through the whole thing, right? So I can have it rewrite the part of this. Crystal clear water, just kind of an amazing place. Let me go back and take a look a little bit deeper. What else is in here? This thing goes on forever, folks. I've been doing this for a while, 237 videos. And then if we go really deep, so you can see me playing with some sharks up here. Those are just little tiny reef sharks. That's kind of fun. You get diving with dolphins. That's got a lot of views on it. The Aurora Borealis, 678 views. And then here is a very famous, let me go down to Flip Schulke. I think I've got him somewhere in here. Where is Flip? Here, Flip Schulke, right? So he's an incredible, famous photographer.
Hi, my name is Rick McCawley. Welcome to the website. Today with us on the show is Flip Schulke. Pretty outstanding photo.
So to take a look at, I mean, he photographed Martin Luther King from the very first days. George Wallace. He has a book. It has the most photographs of Martin Luther King ever. He was actually hired by Jet Magazine because he was a white man, and even to go watch Martin Luther King do his speeches, that black men weren't allowed to stay in the hotels nearby. So he worked for Jet Magazine, Life Magazine, and many others. He photographed, there's the school book depository. There he is photographing Castro right when he overthrew the country. There's just all kinds of stuff. Here he is in Beirut in a part of a scene. Let me go a little bit forward. Now, this is done for public broadcasting. So I did 12 photographers, all very famous, world-renowned. probably the picture you most. So here's Ebony Magazine. So the flight crew that was all black. Here he is photographing orcas underwater. That's I got to know him because of scuba diving. And there's the stuff he did for the Challenger. So he did all the underwater photography. That was his specialty, as it was mine. And I got to know him back when I worked for the Herald and had him on my show. He passed away in 2008, and I rebroadcast. One of the pictures I was looking for is he has a very famous picture. There he is with Kennedy photographing him. So if you saw the pictures of these people, it was his photographs. This is his photograph. The quality, of course, is horrible. In fact, maybe I should go back and upres the entire thing. There's a picture of Muhammad Ali, who he photographed in Miami all the time. He lived in Miami most of his life, and this was his base of operations. So it rewrote the description for this. So check this out. So here's what it said about it. A rare 27-minute interview with Rick McCawley, legendary WLRN TV series photo essay, 1986, a 12-part documentary capturing the voices and visions of history's greatest photographers. And so that's what the whole thing. And then there's his website. So you can go right from there. So this is ChatGPT rewrote it. Oh, there's the photograph I was looking for. So if you want to see pictures of Martin Luther King, this is Flip Schulke's. Of course, he's passed away since, but these are all photographs he took that you probably recognize. He made all these photographs. Here's his pictures of civil rights, pictures of Castro. So these famous photographs, that you saw, that you've probably seen throughout history, of the white dove landing on his shoulder as he's speaking. That's an amazing photograph. That's Flip Schulke. So you can buy these photographs and you can find out more about Flip. So why I'm bringing this up is because since I can use the assistant as a live assistant anywhere I am, it can do things like this. It can take control. So if I go over to Notebook LM, it could actually probably do stuff in here as well. And then if I go over to Perplexity, which is what it's built upon, is using Perplexity Engine. So if you didn't know what it's built on, I can upload photographs, screenshots, or browse for me. Let it pick the best websites and put them up there for me, right? So I can use it in so many ways. I can have it research as I'm working on something else. So if I'm in here, so for today, I'm going to show you some of the stuff I just did in Notebook LM. And probably this is AITV show. So I wanted to talk about, like, here is an entire thing, a biography of basically my projects done in the style of Shepard Fairey and Russian constructivists. So this is a multi-page document, and this is about me. So it's talking about me. So I loaded up all the stuff I'm working on. We're at a nexus point. The most powerful tools in human history are in our hands. The following projects, not only a roadmap, they are a declaration of principles from Professor Rick McCawley, a call to become active agents for change in the age of AI. They are a guide to building a future worthy of our humanity, worthy of our humanity, and the choice is ours. The time is now. So these are the projects I'm working on. Hello USA, that you saw last week, that Brandon and I worked on with Oscar to make that a real thing. The Rescue Connect, the definition of humanity. So these are books about the first kiss and the last goodbye. So it took all this. This is my musical, The Year Without Summer. So this is loaded up, and this is basically all the things I'm doing. Upskill USA. Look at these beautiful, really iconic illustrations. So if that's not enough, what's cool about it is, here's all my research on the side. So for the takeaway today, I wanted to do a couple of things. So here is a blueprint of humanity. So this is based on my information. So it's a PowerPoint presentation ready to go that talks about all the human capital investment. This is about my Rocket Ship for the Mind book. Here's about my Upskill USA. You notice that this is the same information prompted slightly differently. And then here is what I prompted. Give me a highly visual journey through the portrait of Professor Rick McCawley and his greatest moonshot project. So I'm just talking about it, and then it makes it. So to give you a real worthwhile, I'm going to put Comet out of the way for a minute. So I'm just going to turn off the assistant because I don't really want it. But now what's cool about this is, what if I wanted to open up another tab? So I want to actually split the screen. Now I'm trying to remember how I do this again. Is it right here?
Speaking of splitting the screen, we've lost your screen.
Oh, no. How long ago?
Just about 30 seconds ago.
Oh, okay. All right. Let me go back to StreamYard. Get back on the screen. I think it seems when I go to the keyboard, it sometimes just doesn't want to be there. Well, maybe I'll just pick the Comet browser. That way I can share sound too. Let me see if this works. There we go. Yeah, you seeing the Comet browser?
Yes, now we're seeing it.
Okay. So I can create infographics the same way. Now, what I'm suggesting here, so this has a very rich description. So the words I keep using over and over again, professor's making a startling portrait on the left. Renaissance portrait of the visionary, banner across the top should read Professor Rick McCawley, human-centric AI visionary. So it followed that perfectly. 8 focused moonshot projects, which shows the vision and humanity in the projects. So this is what it did. Upskill USA, Rocket Ship for the Mind. Here's my Grok trilogy of books. Here's my Year Without Summer play as a playbill. Pulitzer Prize winning photojournalist, senior professor, human-centric. So I loaded up my resume, Rescue Connect, Hello USA, my Care app, all of it beautifully illustrated as if I'm some sort of like Rhodes Scholar, you know. I got a couple of degrees under my belt, so that's kind of cool. So what's cool about this is you load up all the information about you. So I actually took the AITV episodes and copied and pasted. So let me walk you through Notebook LM. So this is going to be the second takeaway. First is Comet browser can take over. It can be that question. So don't tell Kyle that I do this, but I'm listening to his show, and I have Perplexity listening also. And when I have a question and some idea I want to add value to it, I then get on there and I start to type in, give me something bright to say about this moment, right? And then I said, you got to make it 200 characters. That's all it fits in the comment section when he's live, right? And then I sound like I'm a brilliant guy because I've got that AI agent kind of thinking about what I'm thinking about, but then going and doing it. So let me break it down for you. If you haven't used this before, please, oh God, please do use it, because I'm going to show you a dozen ways that you use it. I'm using it to actually just create still images for making a movie. So I'm going to use it for the storyboarding of my Grok movie. Wow. Okay. So here's what you do. You start with sources. Now, what's kind of the cool thing to do is you can actually hook it up to your Google Drive. So everything you've got on the Google Drive, you can say, take this whole folder and just dump it right in there. So if I'm doing my music, there's all my music I've worked on. Let me just have it take this whole thing here and all the rest of them here and just kind of insert those as content. 300 different documents. If you have 300 YouTube videos, you can put them in here. Here's even better. Go right here and you can search the web or the drive, and then you can go search for fast search or deep dive. So here's what we're going to do. And as I'm doing this, I can't talk and type at the same time. To Rick McCawley on the internet. Okay, so I can spell references correctly, and I can spell the correctly, and I think I'm okay. Although it seems to think that's not spelled correctly. So I'm going to do a fast research right now because there's so many pages, right? So it's going to go out there and find websites. So look at the types of sources we can do. We can look for Google Drive, a website link. Look at all these file types: text, markdown, PDFs, GIFs, JPEGs, etc. Just all of them, right? Upload a file of any type that's there. A website, you can put in multiple websites. So what's cool here is you can sit there and just put a space bar between each one. So you add multiple URLs, separate with a space or a new line. So I can copy and paste. I could use Comet to go look for stuff about me and make a space delimited bunch of things and copy and paste the whole thing in here at once. And then, oh my goodness, oh, I never thought about doing that. Or I can do it like you see here. And then it's now going to show me, let me view it these, let me make sure these are ones that I want. Ooh, photo workshops Miami. Okay, that sounds good. Broward College topography class that I taught. Okay, let's import those. If I did a deep dive, it'll do upwards of 50 different things. As they come in, you'll see if it's behind a paywall, it'll come up with a red mark. And then you can decide, don't train on that, right? So then I can come to, so that's the input. It literally is all knowledge you want it to find out there on the internet. So here's, oh, and by the way, I can find out underwater. Is that a website? Yeah, that's a website. Here we go. I can go take a look at it. There's the summary of it that talks about what's going on there. Digital snippet, contact information. Okay, that's not that interesting. Let's go back to the sources. Let me find, oh, here's Miami-Dade. Oh, here is a thing I did for Miami-Dade College. Here's a summary of it. Here's the actual content. And I can go to the website. And there's the presentation I did. Oh, yeah, here we go. This is a presentation I left for them. I'm not quite sure what, I don't even remember doing this. You can tell I do a lot of things. And there it is. So somehow it found this document. Oh, this was from my own hard drive, right? And so it has the sources back to your information. I could basically do anything I want. It's kind of nuts. So it goes back to where the sources came from. And if I found some new thing that I just found out about, then I could come here and the most important. Yeah, tell me the most important web references you found about me. Okay. And then it's going to do that. So it's input, it's chat. So you're taking some big thing. I want to talk about Rick McCawley. I want to talk about photography. I want to talk about the newest flash that came out. And then come in here and refine your topic. So when you have a broad thesis, what do you do with the thesis? You say, then decide what you're going to talk about and what you're not going to talk about. And it's not finding very much here, but then I could save it as a note, copy and paste it, or I can ask all the information that's here. Oh, here we go. There's my personal website. There's my YouTube channel. There's my LinkedIn. There's my workshops for the Miami, the studio. Let me go take a look at that. There's Rick McCawley's website, Miami Street Photography Festival. Let me take a look at that. He's a judge. Okay, that's cool. Let me go find the Miami Street Photography Festival. There you go. So I was a speaker and a judge at the Miami Street Photography Festival, which no longer exists, unfortunately. But we had this in the History Miami Museum. There it is. We had the entire History Miami and the library taken over for 15 years. This festival established in 2012. I was one of the founding members and spoke multiple times at it. We had Bruce Gilden, Nicholas Eponymous, Stella Johnson. This was just 1 year. Viet Vihora. These are some of the most current workshops. Here we go. So these are the workshops that we had with these famous photographers. And I got to be just, and there's our exhibition of prints. These are the winners from over 70 countries worldwide. And the workshops lasted 2 weeks before and after during Art Basel. Boy, I wish we could bring that back. And so you can go with Juan Rios, who was the founder of this entire thing. These were all Magnum photographers, National Geographic photographers. Bruce Gilden is a legendary Magnum photographer. So this is sponsored by all these people. So I'd forgotten a lot of the stuff that we did. I mean, it was so extraordinary. So our last event was in 2020. In fact, I think sadly, it was the last time I got to, and these are the winners of the competition. So this is the kind of wonderful street photography that I was a part of. So I could bring up my assistant over to the side. Tell me all about the Miami Street and Rick McCawley's. Okay, so it's going to be, as you're enjoying these beautiful pictures, and they are just quite extraordinary. Street photography, if you're not familiar with it, I call it the poet brother of documentary and photojournalism. It is just kind of this beautiful stuff that has really no, oops, forgot to hit go. Now, I could take this over and bring it on over and share it with people. I could add it to my list of different conversations. So, let's see, I think I can copy the query. Yep, I can edit the query. Here's all the different, here's the news influence. So I was a designer. Here we go. So there's Broward College. This is all about the Street Photography Festival there. That's from this group of things. And then the Miami Street Photography Festival, come back to that. Then I think this page is when I was speaking. Oh, this is the first one we did. We did it in Miami, and we've been featured in Harper's Bazaar magazine around town and everything. Just an amazing thing. And here I am able to kind of query all of that information. This also gets added to my Perplexity account, so I can jump over there and do it there as well. Let me go ahead and see if I can get this thing to work. How do I split the frame? That's, I thought, how I did it before. Add a new club. Close tabs. Okay. You can also adjust the distance between this, so you can have it take over. You can copy and paste it. So exhibit history, Macaulay's photographer, thinker, designer. There's my portfolio. RickMcCawley.com. Okay, so that's cool. And there's Miami Street Photography Festival. And I could go to, there you go. So past events, workshops, finalists, all that kind of stuff. I actually designed the website and kind of kept it going. There I am. So there's my whole bio. There's J. Thomas Lopez, University of Miami's chair of the Department of Art and Art History, who's since retired. I almost took his job. That would have been a different change of events. So getting back to this, this is a nexus point of all knowledge. And by using Comet on the side, that's Perplexity's web browser built on, and it has all the same plugins that you've been using in Chrome all along. So if you have Manus plugged in, you can use that at the same time. In fact, I've used Manus to copy and paste with Comet between different interfaces to do really complex tasks. I mean, it's kind of nuts. I can collapse the studio. I can expand it. I can do all kinds of stuff. So if I go back to this information, we can also take a look at other things I've been working on. And I'll take a look. So here's my book about Laura. And it's called, I don't think this is the one. It goes into the psychology and architecture of why this is a beautiful children's book. And here is a presentation about that exact idea. What is it about my book that's so important? It's about, it does not pay to leave a dragon on your couch. So I looked up Tolkien and thoughts about the traditional. So I asked for a psychoanalytical review of my book and what I did. And so the foundation is, it's taking the Imagine a World book that features my daughter. Now, in the original one, it's a blonde daughter, et cetera, et cetera. So I've changed it up a little bit here because I did some research and found some other things. We meet Laura, a young girl, and her cat named M, which is now called Shadow. That's another thing. But it's been based upon my research that I found here. The analysis, the bedtime ritual is the architectural act of pouring the foundation. It establishes physical safety, a cozy bed, emotional connection, laughter with mom, and a shared imaginative context where the wild things are. This ritual lowers cortisol and moves Laura's brain from a state of potential anxiety to one of creative readiness. So basically, it psychoanalyzed from the experts in psychology and story writers about the hero's journey. So I loaded up every single writer of children's books I could think of and what their thinking process. So characterize the problem, map its effects, evaluate the effects. Is that fair? Do you like what your fear is doing to you? And then justify why not? What do you want from your life instead? So it's gaining agency. So Laura separates her from her fears. So this is a psychological thing. And if you're watching Dr. Claire, I would love to have you come on and talk about the deep, really beautiful thing about facing your fears and confronting them. In fact, it used to be a magic wand that she would sort of raise. I've now made her the brave one, and her cat is the fraidy cat. And her cat's name is Shadow. So her shadow is the embodiment of her party dress turning into a monster. And then finding a monster is an external thing that she can talk to. And she realizes the characteristics of crying and loneliness is separate from her, but she can act to solve problems for others and therefore solve her own. It's a deep guide to profound the proximal zone. So this is Lev Wallet, I can't pronounce his name, but the theory posts that a gap, what a child can achieve independently and what they can achieve with guidance is the zone of proximal development. Learning is a social collaboration where a guide provides scaffolding to help the child transverse this zone. So basically this book is that journey. And then the breakthrough is the catastrophe. So basically, this is a core coin idea from Tolkien. So I'm having notes given to me by child psychologists, by Tolkien, and the study about what this is: fear and rehearsal, the narrative happening, the catastrophe. Laura finds out a paintbrush that glows with golden light. And then, no, we don't want to use the golden light. We want to have a real world. So Laura's resilience is being built with real problems she's facing the next day. And in her imagination, from her safe space, by reading a book and using her imagination, she can make those imaginary fears go away. And she can face the real ones in the real world. So this is the blueprint for the book. And I've changed it because it's not the flight of the deserter. It is the escape of the prisoner. That we're freeing our imagination is escaping a flight from the duties of the real world. Tolkien offered a critical distinction. This process is not about running away from life. We are giving children the tools to break out of their prison of their own fears and step into a larger, more resilient life. Wow. So I was sitting there. I did, just to give you an idea, I've done 350 in the last 4 nights that are as deep and about as many different weird things as you can imagine. So here is a book that I'm writing right now, and I'm just going to show you a preview. This is another book that I wrote 6 years ago, and this is the idea of it. There's 3 books in the series. I don't want to give away too much because I haven't got it copyrighted yet. So I'm just going to show you that. But there's the entire book. Here's the explainer and the pitch deck for the book. And here's the audio overview.
Welcome to the explainer. Okay.
And then what new things can you do here? You can get an infographic. You can get a slide deck, flashcards, a video overview. You can ask it questions here, and then you can go search for more things. So this happens to do with the input is just these 2 documents from my my Google Drive. So I'll start working in ChatGPT. I'll save it to my Google Drive. Then I'll come in here and I'll load up other sources. So I might load up, tell me 10 things about writing this book that might be helpful. Give me an outline of the book. And then I'll go over and I'll use always the customization feature. And I'll say, make a slide deck that does this in the style of. So some of the weird ones I've done. So to give you an idea of how much I use this, I filled up my account and I ran out. So I created a second account. And this is the one I was working on just today. So this one I still have. So I went into the history of photography. Then I started looking at, well, what can you tell me about the history of photography and the explosion of photography in the modern age? Let me see. How do I do this? Oh, there we go. So this is the birth of photography. How many images have been put up on the internet? So it goes through trillions of images per year by 2025. And then the AI frontier going forward. So it got like 2 little misspellings I just caught here. But that was a look at how many images are we putting up. And here's a different interpretation with a different stylistic interpretation, more of a cartoony style. And then if I want to go further, so give me, now it does this entire analysis of the amount of pictures that are being put up during that period of time. How many cave paintings were there? And then it breaks that down into billions per year, millions. So in the 1850s, 100,000 images were made per year in Paris alone. So that was people making photographs. This is just photography. And then we have in the 1920s and 30s, millions because of the rise of journalism and magazines. So this is based upon the content I put in here, which was do a deep research about how many pictures there are. And then here is an indexical report on the post-authentic image, blah, blah, blah. And here is that, so it went out and found all these references for me. And then it allows me to go check out the actual information itself and then have a summary here. So I can even, in addition to all of that, so if you want to know anything, just take a look at this. This is just incredible. All right, so on top of that, video overviews, reports, flashcards, quizzes, infographics, slide decks, and that's what I'm doing. And then now data tables. So output is all of the possible things that you can do.